want to welcome everybody to the second study.
Chcel by som všetkých privítať pri druhej štúdii.
Let's open with a word of prayer.
Začneme modlitbou.
I need it louder. Holy God, we thank you
Svätý Bože, my Ti ďakujeme,
that you continue to guide and direct us.
že nás naďalej vedieš a poženávaš nám.
Please be with us
Prosím, buď s nami,
as we continue to understand your word
aby sme rozumeli Tvojmu slovu
collectively.
spoločne.
In Jesus' name.
V Ježišovom mene.
Amen.
Amen.
For those of you who are joining online,
Pre tých, ktorí sa pripojili online,
I can't monitor my WhatsApp messages during the presentation,
nemôžem sledovať tie správy vo WhatsAppe počas prezentácie,
but please send your messages to me if you have responses or questions or answers.
ale prosím, posielajte mi odpovede, ak máte, alebo správy, ak máte odpovede alebo otázky.
And I'll try to respond them in the next study.
Počkaj, ja nemôžem sa zastrediť na teba a na neho. Dobre, OK. Can you repeat, please?
And I'll try to respond to them in our next study.
A ja sa budem snažiť zodpovedať to v ďalšej štúdii.
I'd like everybody across the movement, if possible, to join in.
Ako, aby sa ostatní z hnutia mohli pripojiť.
So in study number 2,
Takže v štúdii číslo 2
just a brief summary of what we discussed.
je krátke zhrnutie, o čom sme hovorili.
We're looking at Revelation 17,
Pozeráme sa na Zjavenie 17
and I asked the question,
spýtal som sa otázku,
what does Revelation 17 give us, what information does it give us that's essential to have a better understanding of prophecy?
akú informáciu nám dáva Zjavenie 17, ktorá je esenciálna alebo kľúčová na to, aby sme lepšie rozumeli proroctvu.
We understand that the chapter is just a repeat of the same story given elsewhere.
My sme pochopili, že tá kapitola je opakovanie rovnakého príbehu, ktorý nám bol daný inde,
Not just in Daniel
nielen v Danielovi
and not just in other chapters of Revelation,
a nielen v ďalších kapitolách Zjavenia,
but throughout the Bible.
ale v celej Biblii.
But we tend to focus our attention on the books of Daniel and Revelation
Ale my máme tendenciu sústrediť sa na
because they give a symbolic representation of history.
pretože nám dávajú symbolickú reprezentáciu histórie.
Which in the previous study I called the story,
A v predošlých štúdiách som to nazval príbehom
and at least once I called the great controversy.
a najmenej jedenkrát som to nazval veľký spor.
So it gives us valuable information that is not easily found elsewhere.
Takže nám to dáva cennú informáciu, že nie je to ľahko nájditeľné inde.
And this story, which I've described as a great controversy,
Tento príbeh, ktorý som popísal ako veľký spor,
we'll take the word great out, it's a controversy,
ak vezmeme slovo veľký,
which
tak
is a,
zostane nám slovo spor,
which is a fight
čo znamená boj
between two parties or a war.
medzi dvoma stranami, alebo vojna.
And all of these versions of that story
A všetky tieto verzie toho príbehu
are all speaking about, I'll use the word, the enemy.
hovoria použijem to slovo nepriateľ.
We said in the previous study, Satan's kingdom.
A povedali sme v predošlom štúdiu, že satanové kráľovstvo.
And this singular entity Satan's kingdom, this power,
a táto mocnosť, táto jedna entita, Satanovo kráľovstvo,
when you come to Revelation 17,
keď prídeme do zjavenia 17,
you understand is comprised of two elements.
tak rozumieme, že je to zložené z dvoch elementov.
And in the symbology of chapter 17,
A v tej symbolike zjavenia 17
it's a beast and a woman.
je to šelma a žena.
What is not unique to Revelation 17
To, čo nie je nové alebo unikátne pre zjavenie 17,
is that this story
je, že tento príbeh
is given in two different ways.
je daný v dvoch rôznych spôsoboch.
There's an overall or panoramic view,
Je tu taký celistvý alebo panoramatický pohľad
and there's a shorter or dispensational view.
a je tu tento kratší alebo ten dispenzacionálny pohľad.
I've called them complete and local in the other study.
V tej ďalšej štúdii som to nazval kompletný a lokálny.
So that's just a brief summary of what we spoke about earlier.
Takže to je také krátke zhrnutie toho, čo sme hovorili predtým.
We also mentioned, which is important,
A tiež, čo je dôležité, je, že sme spomenuli,
that once you see in Revelation 17
že keď vidíme v zjavení 17,
that singular power is comprised of two elements,
že tá moc je zložená z dvoch elementov
and that the woman part of that power
a tá žena, tá časť ženy v tej moci
in the symbology of Revelation 17 does not appear to change.
v tej symbolike zjavenia 17 to nevyzerá, že sa mení.
And if you look carefully, you'll see that the beast that we've spoken about does change through history.
Ak sa pozriete pozorne, tak vidíte, že tá šelma sa mení v tej histórii.
Based upon that idea,
A na základe tejto myšlienky,
I think I gave the date 2007.
a myslím, že sme k tomu dali dátum 2007,
We were able to tie the woman, which is a symbol,
sme boli schopní spojiť ženu, čo je ten symbol,
back to another symbol that's in Daniel.
s ďalším symbolom, ktorý je v Danielovi.
And that's the daily,
A to je ustavičná,
which we know is the continual or something that doesn't change.
čo je niečo, čo vieme, že je niečo, čo sa nemení.
So we also discussed in our last class that the daily
Takže tiež sme hovorili v našej poslednej štúdii, že tá ustavičná
is the same as the woman.
je to isté ako žena.
We then asked what the beast and the woman represent.
Potom sme sa spýtali, že čo žena a šelma reprezentujú.
So we had the beast
Takže máme šelmu
and the woman,
a ženu.
and we agreed that the beast was state,
A my sme sa zhodli, že šelma je štát.
and we ended up by saying that the woman is ideology.
A nakoniec sme sa zhodli, v tom, že sme povedali, že žena je ideológia.
And Natalie mentioned in a previous study, I had said that the woman is the king of the north.
A Natalie spomenula, že v predošlej štúdii som povedal, že žena je král severu.
So I'm just going to put that over here in the corner.
Takže dám to sem hore do rohu.
And just keep that as reference.
A bude to tu ako referenčný bod.
So we have state and we have ideology.
Takže máme tu štát a máme ideológiu.
So on the forum, our local one, I've given, it's not the definition, but it's a definition of ideology.
Takže na tom fóre som zdieľal definíciu ideológie.
So our local translators will already have that.
Naši lokálni prekladatelia to už majú.
We're going to forward that to those people who are translating.
A pošleme to tým ľuďom, ktorí prekladajú.
And I'm also going to put it on the media broadcast so everybody can have it in real time.
A pošlem to na media broadcast, takže si to môžete prečítať vo vlastnom čase.
So I've got this. An ideology is a set of ideas, beliefs and attitudes consciously or unconsciously held, which reflects or shapes understandings or misconceptions of the social and political world. It serves to recommend, justify or endorse collective action aimed at preserving or changing political practices and institutions.
Ideológia je súbor vedomých alebo nevedomých myšlienok, presvedčení a postojov, ktoré odrážajú alebo formujú chápanie alebo nesprávne chápanie sociálneho a politického sveta. Slúži na odporúčanie, odôvodňovanie alebo schvaľovanie kolektívnych akcií zameraných na zachovanie alebo zmenu politických praktík a inštitúcií.
So as I say, that's just one definition. It's not comprehensive and it's not perfect.
Takže ako som povedal, je to len jedna z definícií, nie je to dokonalé alebo úplné.
And you'll notice that it doesn't introduce the concept of religion really in any of that.
A ako ste si všimli, tak nezahrňa to náboženstvo v tej definícii.
Focuses on society and politics.
Zameriava sa to na spoločnosť a na politiku.
Why would it not focus on religion?
Prečo sa to nesústreďuje na náboženstvo?
Anybody have a thought? No one there? Why would it not speak about religion? Why would it only speak about society and the political world?
Prečo to nehovorí o náboženstve? Prečo sa tam hovorí len o spoločnosti a o politickom svete?
Just if you have a thought.
Ak máte
Put your
myšlienky,
hands up clearly if you're going to on this side. Monica and
dajte
then
hore ruku, ak ste na tejto strane.
Curtis.
The religion is already included in the definition.
Náboženstvo je už zapojené v tej definícii.
Can you tell me just the word where it says, I'm not being funny, but where do you see religion? Which word you picked up?
Mohla by si povedať, že aké slovo, v ktorom slove je to zahrnuté?
Set of ideas, beliefs and attitudes.
Súbor vedomých alebo nevedomých myšlienok a presvedčení.
That's where you pick it up?
Mm-hmm.
To je to, kde si to všímaš?
So you think religion is there?
Yes.
Takže si myslíš, že náboženstvo tam je? Áno.
And why do you think it's not explicitly stated?
A prečo si myslíš, že to tam nie je priamo napísané?
Because it's not only religion. Set of beliefs might not be only religion. It's just a subset of.
Pretože ten súbor myšlienok nemusí byť len náboženstvo.
What would it be besides religion?
Čo by to bolo okrem náboženstva?
Worldview.
Worldview is society, so it's society specifically there.
Svetonázor je spoločnosť, takže to sa tam konkrétne spomína.
I don't know now.
Because it explicitly says politics and society.
Pretože priamo sa tam hovorí o politike a spoločnosti.
You said you don't know on this.
No.
Okay, Curtis?
The question was, why is religion not mentioned here?
Tá otázka bola, že prečo tam nie je zahrnuté náboženstvo.
I think because it's its own distinct thing.
Myslím, že je to preto, lebo to je oddelená vec.
So, just like how we differentiate between politics and church.
Tak ako my odlišujeme medzi politiku od cirkvi.
Is society its own thing?
Je spoločnosť sama o sebe?
That falls under... It falls under politics, yeah, but it distinguishes between them.
To spadá pod politiku.
So I'm assuming the definition is good, so it doesn't fall under politics. They're two separate things.
Mm-hmm.
Takže ja predpokladám, že tá definícia je dobrá, ale nie všetko zapadá do politiky. Sú to dve oddelené veci.
It says and, it could be or.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry?
It says and.
Hovorí tam a.
Social and politics, but it could say social or politics because they're different.
A hovorí sa tam sociálneho a politického sveta, ale mohlo by to byť sociálneho alebo politického sveta, keby to je iné.
Gabriel?
I don't know if it's similar to what Curtis said.
Sorry, say what you're going to say.
I was going to say they are two different things. So I think one, we have a view in maybe like practical things that are more...
Tell her when to stop because she'll carry on.
Sorry, just shorter sentences, sorry.
I was going to say they are two separate things.
Takže ja som chcela povedať, že to sú dve rozdielne veci.
And when you think of religion, you think of something more like... in the spiritual sense, and the other one like in the practical, secular.
Keď hovoríme o náboženstve, tak sa bavíme o niečom, čo má duchovný význam a tá ďalšia vec má skôr sekulárny alebo praktický význam.
So just to say that we separate them the way we view them.
Takže len som chcela povedať, že to, ako to vidíme, je odlišné.
You're saying one is real life and one isn't.
Ty hovoríš, že jeden je skutočný život a jeden nie.
Not that it's not real life, but I think when you're talking about it in a practical way, your day to day.
Practical is real life.
Takže keď hovoríte o tom, že o tom praktickom dennodennom.
Sorry?
Maybe it's not a good way of me describing it, but I would say we do a distinction, a separation between both.
Možno to nie je najlepší spôsob, ako to popisujem, ale myslím, že to rozdeľujeme medzi týmto.
Lisanne, I'll just go with Lisanne.
I don't know why religion is not mentioned.
Neviem, prečo tam nie je spomenuté náboženstvo.
Because I think there's political ideology.
Pretože si myslím, že je tam politická ideológia.
And you have kind of cultural ideology.
A máme tiež nejakú kultúrnu ideológiu.
AI says you even have economic ideology. Are you communist or mixed economy or Marxist or capitalist or...
Máme tiež nejakú...
communism or capitalism.
Okay, máme tiež také ekonomické ideológiu, že máme komunizmus, kapitalizmus a tak ďalej.
And you have religious ideology.
A máme tiež náboženské ideológie.
You told us what you don't know. Why is it not mentioned?
in your definition that you gave?
Okay.
A prečo to tam nie je spomenuté v tej tvojej definícii, ktorú si dal?
Maybe because it's part of the social ideology?
Možno preto, lebo je to súčasťou sociálnej ideológie.
So you see religion in social.
Maybe.
Takže vidíš náboženstvo v tej sociálnej.
We're only guessing. We don't all have the right answer, but or the definitive answer because it's a guess. Emma?
Len tak hádame, nemáme nejakú správnu odpoveď. Emma?
This seems to be focusing on changing the practices of the collective.
Toto sa zdá, že sa sústreďuje na zmenu nejakých praktík spoločnosti.
And it seems to me that only politics or government can do that.
A mne sa zdá, že len politika alebo vlády to môžu robiť.
Perhaps.
I'm only smiling because it was the last one on that side and people put their hand up after it. I'm going to go with that answer.
Takže ja pôjdem s touto odpoveďou.
That it's speaking about this collective viewpoint or perspective.
Ale hovorí to o tejto kolektívnej perspektíve alebo pohľade.
And if I understand what Emma said, that religion doesn't have the power to do that.
A ak som rozumel, čo povedala Emma, tak hovorí, že náboženstvo nemá tu moc to robiť.
I can't do it. That's what I was trying to say. Can't do that. It's because there's so many different types of religions with so many different types of ideologies.
A je mnoho praktík náboženstva, mnoho praktík ideológie.
Go on then. Your points. Mark first, then Charity, then all the people that don't like what Emma said. Emma said.
Môžete sa vyjadriť, všetci, ktorí sa nepáčilo, čo povedala Emma.
When I was reading the definition that you sent about ideology,
keď som čítal tú definíciu, ktorú si poslal ohľadne ideológie,
then when you asked the question, hey, why is not religion mentioned in it?
Keď si sa spýtal otázku, že prečo tam nie je zahrnuté náboženstvo,
is that I think it will narrow definition down because religion is often combined with the belief in a higher power, in a God or something like that.
Je to akoby tam bola zúžená tá definícia, pretože náboženstvo je spojené s nejakou vyššou mocou.
Lisa?
I just wanted to comment on the fact that religion...
You wanted to?
Comment on the fact that religion would not influence collectively.
Ja by som chcela komentovať tú skutočnosť, že náboženstvo nemá dopad na
because I think that in many countries we do see that happen.
Because many?
In many countries.
Pretože v mnohých krajinách to nevidíme.
We see the Christian culture in the West, we see the Islam culture in the East, we see a lot of that.
V západných kultúrách, mnoho toho aj na východe.
Curtis, last one on this side.
Curtis, posledný na tejto strane.
With the explanation that Emma gave,
to vysvetlenie, ktoré dala Emma,
she said that because religion doesn't have the power to influence the political element.
Povedala, že pretože náboženstvo nemá
the
moc...
collective politically.
Nemá moc nejako ovplyvňovať spoločnosť politicky.
But I guess, kind of like what Lizanne said, what happens when you have the Ayatollah where the political and the religious go hand in hand?
Ale čo ak máte niekoho ako Ayatollah, ktorým je náboženstvo a politika ruka v ruke?
And in the definition, as you said, it distinguishes between social and political.
A to v tej definícii, ten rozdiel medzi sociálnym a politickým.
You done?
Yeah.
I don't want to misquote Emma. Go ahead.
So, I think my argument is that religion doesn't have any power to influence people without the politics. The only reason...
Môj argument je, že náboženstvo nemá žiadnu moc ovplyvniť ľudí bez politiky.
The only thing that can shape the practice of the collective is political and legal change.
Jediná vec, ktorá môže vytvarovať tú praktickú časť, je politická činnosť.
Can't do that.
That's a separate point.
Whatever it is, you can't have a dialogue. On this side.
Na tejto strane?
Christian, Andreas.
For me, in the definition,
A v tej definícii
religion is unnecessary
a náboženstvo je
to be mentioned. The definition can explain that all of that can conduct to a religion.
Include.
Yeah. And
all of that can include religion, I think she said.
Všetko to zahrňa to náboženstvo.
It's like the characteristic of religion is included in that definition.
Je to ako tá charakteristika náboženstva je zahrnutá v tej definícii.
Just tell me where.
Povedz mi kde.
Those words.
V tých slovách.
In English, a set of beliefs, a set of ideas.
Súbor tých myšlienok a presvedčení, postojov.
When people are, I have it in French, sorry. When people are shaped, I have to take in English.
Keď sú ľudia formovaní.
Yes, they are consciously or unconsciously held. So that is the purpose of religion for me. And justify or endorse collective actions.
That's it?
Yes.
I just don't agree. If you didn't get the point.
Ja nesúhlasím.
No one's challenged what Emma said.
Nikto nespochybnil to, čo povedala Emma.
So the answer I was going to give is that for me it's not included there because
tá odpoveď, ktorú som chcel dať, že pre mňa je nejasné, alebo že prečo to tam nie je zahrnuté?
Because religion would be a subset of the an ideology. So it would be an ideology.
Že to náboženstvo by bolo zahrnuté v tej ideológii.
So it doesn't need to be included.
Takže nemusí to tam byť zahrnuté.
It gives the definition of ideology and we don't need to include in religion because it's already built in there somewhere.
Takže je tam definícia ideológie a nemusíme to tam zahrnúť, pretože je to tam niekde zahrnuté.
It's not that it's inbuilt, but if you read out the definition of religion and you put it to see if it fits the criteria to be an ideology, it would fit, I think. So a religion.
So in the United States.
Asi, hej. Okay.
Are we good? Sorry. In the UK.
V Anglicku.
Tell me where religion is shaping society and politics.
Povedz mi, kde náboženstvo nejako utvára spoločnosť alebo politiku.
Just tell me which religion is doing that to begin with.
Povedz mi, ktoré náboženstvo to robí, aby sme s tým začali.
Christianity.
Kresťanstvo.
So, the Anglican Church is controlling or directing how British society functions in the 21st century. That's what you just said.
Yes.
Takže anglikánska cirkev kontroluje a ovláda to, ako funguje spoločnosť v Anglicku v 21. storočí. To si povedal?
And it's shaping and molding the political world or the politics of the UK.
A formuje tiež politický svet Spojeného kráľovstva?
I don't have like a study that I've done on that, but I would guess yes. Especially because it says here that consciously or unconsciously shapes.
Nemám štúdiu, ktorá toto robí, ale povedal by som, že áno, či vedome alebo nevedome ovplyvňuje ho.
Okay. Anyone else? We're going to summarize the discussion. So I don't want to make a big issue out of it, so I'm going to stop the discussion. But the summary is, most people here
väčšina ľudí tu
believe that somewhere in these words, religion is built into this definition.
Veria, že niekde v týchto slovách náboženstvo je už vbudované do tej definície.
And one person said,
a jeden človek povedal,
it isn't.
Že to tak nie je.
I think that's the summary.
To je zhrnutie toho.
Go on then, Gabriella. What? You don't want to speak?
No, I was just saying I also don't think it's in there.
Ja len som chcela povedať, že tiež si nemyslím, že je to vbudované.
Okay. So I'm going to stick with that definition. I think it's a good one, whether it has religion or not.
Takže budem sa držať tejto definície. Myslím si, že je dobrá, či tam je náboženstvo alebo nie je.
Is everybody okay with state and ideology?
Je každý v poriadku s tým, že štát a ideológia?
Ideology is a set of ideas, beliefs and attitudes.
Ideológia je súhrn vier, postojov a myšlienok.
That do something.
Ktoré niečo robia.
Yeah. Okay, so if we're okay with that,
takže ak sme v poriadku s týmto,
and then we could go back into all the other chapters,
a potom sa môžeme vrátiť naspäť do všetkých ďalších kapitôl,
and we could see
a mohli by sme vidieť
the relationship between state and ideology.
Vzťah medzi štátom a ideológiou.
So someone said in the first presentation,
niekto povedal v tej prvej prezentácii,
that there was a relationship between these two symbols.
Že medzi týmito dvoma symbolmi bol vzťah.
And the relationship is that the woman is controlling the beast.
A ten vzťah je, že tá žena ovláda tú šelmu.
You okay with that?
Súhlasíme s tým?
Does anybody just want to throw out the verse?
Chcete nám dať nejaký verš k tomu?
So we've got woman.
Takže máme tu ženu.
Controls beast.
Ktorá ovláda šelmu.
Revelation 17.
To je Zjavenie 17.
3. Are we okay with 3?
Áno, súhlasíme.
Anybody want to give another one?
Chcete ešte niečo iné?
Give me another one. I'm not checking these, by the way. Which one? Someone said 18. We're going to go with 18?
Niekto hovorí, že 18, áno?
3 and 18? Okay, so I've got 2 or 3 people. I'll go with 3, unless someone objects in a minute. So I've got 3 and 18.
Takže máme 3. a 18. verš.
So, based upon the definition that we've got,
na základe definície, ktorú máme,
does that fit?
Sedí vám to?
If we've got ideology and state,
máme ideológiu a štát.
And we're saying ideology is this definition that we've got.
A hovoríme, že ideológia je táto definícia, ktorú máme.
Does that all work? Have we got a consistent model now?
Funguje to takto? Máme teraz konzistentný model?
So some people are looking confused. So we're saying that just based upon that, if I substitute them,
Niektorí ľudia vyzerajú zmetení, takže keď to len takto spravím, že ich vymeníme medzi sebou,
we're saying ideology controls the state.
Ideológia ovláda štát. To je to, čo povieme.
If I just substitute the words.
Ja som vymenil tie slova.
So blessing, you were happy to have beast is state, woman is ideology. You seemed happy with that.
Takže Blessing, ty vyzeráš spokojný s tým, že žena je ideológia a šelma je štát.
Forget the bit that's underneath it. Yes.
Áno, súhlasíš s tým, čo je pod tým napísané?
I guess I am at the moment.
V tejto chvíli asi áno.
Not the last moment, from last class.
Ja hovorím o poslednej hodine.
So what I was happy with in the last class is that all of those terms that were mentioned were synonymous.
Dôvod, prečo som nebol šťastný na tej poslednej hodine, je, že všetky tieto pojmy sú synonymá.
Are you okay that beast is state?
A
Yes.
Súhlasíš, že šelma je štát? Áno.
Woman equals, what would you like to put there?
A žena sa rovná čomu? Čo by si tam chcel dať?
I guess what I'm saying is I'm trying to process what that looks like and what it means.
Asi chcem povedať, že snažím sa nejako spracovať to, ako to vyzerá a čo to znamená.
Because in the last class we didn't really come to a conclusion on it.
Lebo na minulej hodine sme neprišli úplne k takému záveru.
And in the current class we're discussing it.
A na tejto hodine sme o tom hovorili.
Go ahead and process for us.
Dobre, tak skús nám to spracovať.
I agree with what you said.
Ja s tebou súhlasím.
Because I guess my current challenge is that ideologies don't exist in a vacuum.
To, čo ja tak nejak neviem sa cez to dostať, je, že ideológia neexistuje vo vákuu.
They have to be housed somewhere.
Ona musí niekde bývať.
So that's really where my processing is going on at the moment.
Tam sa deje to, čo ja sa snažím pochopiť.
So if I would say the woman
Takže keď by som povedal, že žena
equals the ideology of something.
Sa rovná ideológii niečoho.
Would that...
It would help to know what that something is.
No, pomohlo by mi, aby som vedel, čo je to niečo.
Even if you didn't know what it was, but is the definition correct? It's the ideology of something. Is that a working definition?
Aj keby si nevedel, čo to je to dobrá definícia, že je to ideológia niečoho, je tá žena?
So I can put a tick for both of those.
Takže tuto môžem dať, že súhlasíme.
And the something would depend.
A to niečo, to ešte závisí, čo to je.
Which we don't have to do at the moment.
To nemusíme teraz urobiť.
I have a struggle with that.
Ja s týmto zápasím.
I don't understand what the struggle is.
Nerozumiem, v čom zápasíš.
Because I think the house determines what we are saying in that last statement.
Lebo si myslím, že ten dom vlastne hovorí o tom, čo sme hovorili v tom predchádzajúcom výroku.
If you agree it's the ideology of something,
ak súhlasíš, že je to ideológia niečoho,
do you agree with that definition?
I do.
So I can just put at the bottom the ideology of something.
Takže môžem sem dole dať ideológia niečoho.
So the reason why I'm saying I have a struggle is, for example, if the state is that house.
Dôvod, prečo s tým zápasím, je, že keď povieme, že štát je ten dom,
You said a house.
Yeah, like the repository of the ideology.
to je to miesto, kde sedí tá ideológia.
So you're suggesting that that something is the state or it could be the state.
Takže ty hovoríš, že to niečo je štát, alebo by to mohol byť štát?
I'm saying it could be the state.
Mohol by to byť štát.
Okay, so if it could be the state, then it could not be the state.
Takže tak mohol by to byť štát, alebo nemohol by to byť štát?
So it's something.
Je to niečo.
You have to have a generic definition for it to be comprehensive.
Musíš mať na to nejakú všeobecnú definíciu, aby to dávalo zmysel.
Unless you're telling me it's always state.
Len jedine, že by si mi povedal, že vždy je to štát.
So if it's something,
ak je to niečo,
it can change from one place to another, one time to another.
Môže sa to zmeniť z jedného miesta na druhé a z jedného času na druhý.
It can change?
Môže sa to meniť?
Yes.
Then what's wrong with the definition?
Tak aký je problém s tou definíciou?
The problem for me, like I'm saying, if state is the house, then it's not being controlled by its own ideology.
Keď dom je ten štát, tak nie je kontrolovaný svojou vlastnou ideológiou.
And if it isn't the state, it is being controlled by.
A ak to nie je štát, tak je ovládaný?
Yes, but then that would depend. It wouldn't become generic.
Ale to potom nebude všeobecné.
Sure, but you can't give me a generic thing.
Áno, ale ty mi nevieš dať všeobecnú vec.
And you've said state definitely isn't the generic one.
Štát nie je všeobecná vec.
Yes, I acknowledge that, which is why I said I'm processing this thing.
Áno, snažím sa to sprocesovať.
Okay.
So
I'm
we
just
can
using
move on.
logic here. You don't seem to even agree with the logic.
Zdá sa, že nesúhlasíš s tou logikou.
I guess at the moment what I'm saying is, it seems to me that it depends.
Zdá sa mi na tom, že závisí to.
So we can move on.
Okay.
Môžeme ísť ďalej.
But if you just use logic, it can't depend.
Ale keď používaš
That's all my
logiku,
point is.
tak to nezávisí. A to je tá moja
Can't
pointa.
depend.
Nemôže to len
Otherwise,
tak.
it's an illogical statement.
Nemôže to závisieť, lebo ináč je to nelogické.
Yeah, at the moment I don't agree with that.
I've got 1, 2, 3 lines. Just tell me the number you don't agree with.
Takže máme tu 1, 2, 3 línie. Povedz mi to číslo, s ktorým ty nesúhlasíš.
2 and 3.
2 a 3.
3 was taken straight out of the Bible.
Tá trojka, to je zobrané priamo z Biblie.
The reason why I say 2 is because...
You said 2 and 3.
Yes.
I went with 3 first.
Chcem sa najprv pozrieť na trojku, aj keď si povedal 2 a 3.
The verse says...
Tam ten verš hovorí,
The verse says woman rides the beast.
že
Yes.
žena ovláda šelmu.
I changed rides to control.
A ja som zmenil to slovo, že kto ovláda.
And you disagree with that?
A ty s tým nesúhlasíš.
So you agree
Nie.
with 3?
I agree with 3 if we don't put ideology there.
Ja súhlasím s trojkou, ak tam nedáš ideológiu.
It's 1, 2, 3.
Takže máme 1, 2, 3.
Do you agree with 3?
All right.
Takže s trojkou súhlasím.
4 is the one I don't agree with.
Takže
at
so
the moment.
štvorkou ja nesúhlasím.
You agree with 1 and 3?
Súhlasíš s jednotkou a
Yes.
trojkou.
So you disagree with 2?
A nesúhlasíš s dvojkou.
At the moment, yes.
V tejto chvíli s tým nesúhlasím.
Because 4 is just a conclusion.
Lebo štvorka to je len záver.
Yes, I agree with what you just said, that I disagree with 2 and 4.
So no, just 2, not 4.
Takže ty nesúhlasíš
Okay,
s dvojkou. Áno, súhlasím s čím
But
hovoríš.
4 is a consequence of 2.
Sure.
Štvorka je len následok dvojky.
So what do you agree with? What do you disagree with 2? Which word?
Takže čím nesúhlasíš v dvojke?
I just feel like it's not clear enough for me yet.
Zdá
Okay,
sa mi,
I'll
že
stop.
to nie je ešte jasné.
Anyone else got a comment? Vadim hasn't spoken. We go with Vadim.
So I have a problem with this conclusion.
Ja mám problém s týmto záverom.
Tell me the number.
Povedz mi číslo.
2, I think.
2.
Same as blessing.
I guess, yes.
Tak ako aj blessing.
Tell me what you disagree with number 2.
A s čím nesúhlasíš v
Not number
čísle
4,
2?
2.
Because the woman controlling the beast is a bad thing.
Tá žena, ktorá ovláda šelmu, to je zlá vec.
But an ideology controlling the state, it's not a bad thing.
Ale keď ideológia ovláda štát, to nie je zlá vec.
Number 2 is not ideology controlling the state.
Číslo 2 to nie je, že ideológia ovláda štát.
And neither is number 1.
A to nie je ani jednotka.
Just want to know if number 2, the statement is correct.
Ja len chcem vedieť, či výrok v dvojke je správny.
You tell me what the woman is.
Povedz mi, čo je tá žena.
I'll erase all of that and I'll put something in its place.
Ja to všetko zmažem a dám tam niečo namiesto toho.
I don't have a definition for the woman, but it doesn't seem correct to be the ideology.
Ja nemám správnu definíciu na ženu, ale nezdá sa mi správna tá ideológia.
So, would you like one of these 5?
Chcel by si niektorú z týchto 5?
Actually, yes.
Áno.
Okay, you tell me which of these 5 you like.
Povedz mi, ktoré z týchto 5 sa ti páči.
I'll take them.
Ja to tam vymením.
Culture.
Kultúra.
You like culture?
Kultúra.
Yes. And let's say religion.
You like culture and religion.
Kultúra a náboženstvo sa ti páčia.
We'll go with these two.
So woman is religion.
Takže žena je náboženstvo.
And ideology
A ideológia
is a belief.
je viera.
Definition.
To je definícia.
Tell me what religion is.
Čo je náboženstvo?
It's a belief.
Je to viera.
Which makes it an ideology.
A to robí ideológiu.
It seems to.
Okay. And culture is
A kultúra je?
A set of beliefs.
set of beliefs.
To je určitá množina vieroučných bodov.
Or an attitude.
Alebo postojov.
Yeah.
Which is the definition of ideology.
To je definícia ideológie.
Yes.
Áno.
The thing is,
Problém je,
a state has to be controlled by an ideology.
že štát musí byť ovládaný ideológiou.
Because a state without an ideology, it's just a blank state. You do your laws because of your ideology.
Štát bez ideológie nemá nič, veď on svoje zákony robí podľa ideológie, ktorú má.
I didn't understand what you meant by what you just said.
Neporozumel som, čo si myslel tým, čo si teraz povedal.
You said the state needs to be controlled by its ideology.
Povedal si,
Yes.
že štát musí byť ovládaný ideológiou.
That's what number 4 said,
To hovorí číslo 4.
which was based upon number 2, which you disagreed with.
A to je založené na čísle 2 a s tým si nesúhlasil.
The thing where I would have a problem is that in the verse, the number 3,
To, kde ja mám problém je, že vo verši v čísle 3
that if the woman controlling the state is a bad thing.
keď žena ovláda štát, to je zlá vec.
Why does it matter if it's good or bad?
A závisí, je to dôležité, či je to dobré alebo zlé?
Why does that change anything?
Prečo by to niečo malo meniť?
Because of the context of the verse.
Kvôli tomu kontextu toho verša.
It may drunk everybody with its
If it's good or bad, what difference does that make?
Či je to dobré alebo zlé, aký je v tom rozdiel?
How does it change number 2?
Ako to zmenilo číslo 2?
Because number 2 is an independent thought.
Číslo 2 je nezávislá myšlienka.
Yeah, the thing is, the number 2 ideology is neither good nor bad.
Ale v dvojke ideológia nie je ani dobrá, ani zlá.
Okay.
But in that case, the woman is necessarily bad.
Ale v tom ďalšom prípade tá žena je zlá.
And?
And it doesn't equal.
A to nie je to isté.
It certainly does.
Ale je to to isté.
Unless I'm not understanding what you mean.
Alebo nerozumiem, čo máš na mysli.
This is an exercise in logic and rhetoric.
Toto je len také cvičenie v logike a retorike.
Either I'm approaching it incorrectly or some of us are.
Buď ja k tomu prichádzam nesprávne, alebo niektorí z vás.
Because the something is a black box. It's irrelevant what it is.
To niečo, to je úplne jedno, čo to je proste, to je jedno.
You don't need to know what it is to be able to make these statements.
Nemusíme vedieť, čo to je na to, aby sme urobili tieto výroky.
And whether the relationship is good or bad, it also doesn't make any difference because each of those thoughts are independent thoughts.
A či ten vzťah je dobrý alebo zlý, to vôbec s tým nesúvisí, lebo toto sú nezávislé od seba myšlienky.
I think.
Ja si myslím.
Well, I understand. She nodded. Okay. Tamina.
I wonder if it helps if we exchange something with the daily.
With what?
The daily.
Daily. Mohlo by, keby sme to niečo vymenili za ústavičnú?
It doesn't.
Nie.
Because the woman isn't the ideology of the daily.
Lebo žena nie je ideológia tej ústavičnej.
Because, as they said over here, she is the daily.
Ona je ústavičná.
But then she's also the ideology, according to this.
Ale ona potom nie je ideológiou podľa tohto.
So the daily is a symbol which becomes a problem. You can't do a symbol of a symbol.
Okay, get that, yeah.
Ústavičná to je symbol, nemôžeš začať miešať symboly.
And ideology is, I'll just say, it's my best guess of what she is. I'm not saying it's correct. This is what Blessing's point was. It's not proving it if we haven't proved it.
Ideológia je to, čím ona je. Toto je len taká pointa, ešte sme to nedokázali.
So the daily would be actually on the left side where woman is written.
Takže tá ústavičná by bola na tej strane, kde je žena napísaná?
Yes.
Áno.
We got ideology from those 5 words.
Máme ideológiu z týchto 5 slov.
Rightly or wrongly.
Správne alebo nesprávne.
Because if I had just had church there, I think everybody would agree.
Ak by som sem dal cirkev, všetci by súhlasili.
The beast is the state, the woman is the church.
Šelma je štát, žena je cirkev.
The woman controls the beast, therefore the church controls the state.
Žena ovláda šelmu, takže cirkev ovláda štát.
Would anybody disagree with that?
Je tu niekto, kto by s týmto nesúhlasil?
Would you disagree with that? Blessing. That's just straight out of the great controversy. Would you disagree with that?
S týmto by si Blessing nesúhlasil?
Okay,
Nie, s tým som v pohode.
So that's just an example, I think, of, I'll call this a principle.
Tak to je len príklad toho, čo ja nazývam ako princíp.
So if we agree with the example,
ak súhlasíme s tým príkladom,
and then the example should be based upon the principle, we should agree with the principle.
A ten je založený príklad na princípe, mali by sme súhlasiť aj s tým princípom.
Which means we've gone wrong somewhere at number 2.
To znamená, že sme sa niekde v čísle 2 potom pomýlili.
Because as long as we put church there, it'll flow.
Lebo ak tam dáme cirkev, tak budete súhlasiť.
If you put ideology, it stops flowing.
A dáme ideológiu a to vás zastaví.
Have I got the logic of that correct?
Je to správna logika? Hej.
Monica. Who else had their hand up over here? Mark and then Lisanne.
Can I comment on something that Blessing said?
I didn't hear what you said. Can you comment on?
Something that Blessing said.
This time.
Chcel by som komentovať na niečo, čo povedal
I
Blessing.
just don't like people commenting on other people because it gets personal.
He said that if ideology is housed in the state, then it cannot control the state.
On povedal, že keď ideológia je udomácnená v štáte, tak nemôže ho kontrolovať. Correct?
So, when we go to nature of man and we say that our body is the house we live in,
keď ideme do prirodzenosti človeka a povieme, že naše telo je dom, v ktorom žijeme, it is we who are housed in our body, but we control the body. My sme tí, ktorí sme umiestnení v tom tele, ale my ovládame to telo. So for me, there's no discrepancy if ideology is placed in the house. It still can control the house. Takže pre mňa tam nie je nesúlad, keď ideológia je umiestnená v dome, ona stále môže ovládať ten dom.
I don't think so. What you should. You're not the house.
Nemyslím si. No. The house is where we live. The house is where we live. And we control what we do.
Who are you?
My inner...
You're not the house?
No. House, as Blessing said, is the state.
So he says the ideology of the state, the belief of the state can't control the state.
Takže on povedal, že ideológia toho štátu nemôže ovládať štát.
And how does that work between your brain and your body?
That I control my body. My ideology, my inner me controls my body. I decide if I want to touch my head or whatever.
Which are two separate things.
To sú dve ja ovládam svoje telo, čiže ja si poviem, že ja si poškrabem hlavu, čiže moja ideológia ovláda mňa. Parminder hovorí, to sú dve rozdielne veci.
Two separate things, yes?
Yes.
So tell me, how does that connect with what he said?
Takže ako sa to spája s tým, čo on hovorí? I just don't see a discrepancy that he sees. That's what I wanted to say. Ja nevidím nesúlad v tom, čo on hovorí, že vidí.
So when you think something, is that the ideology of the body?
Takže keď ty si niečo myslíš, je to ideológia tvojho tela alebo tvoja ideológia? It's my ideology.
Is it the ideology of the body?
Je to ideológia tela? No.
Okay.
Nie.
So you agree with him then?
Takže s ním súhlasíš. They are so connected. It's so connected.
But they're not the same thing just because they're connected.
Sú prepojené, ale nie je to tá istá vec. Yeah.
Mark,
Okay.
I don't know if you're happy with my answer or not. I thought this was going to be easy, by the way, but it's obviously not.
I'm also trying to make it a bit more easy in my mind.
Ja sa tiež snažím v mojej mysli trocha to
It helped me when I was talking about the beast in the last presentation.
Pomohlo mi to, keď sme hovorili o šelme v mojej poslednej prezentácii.
And you made the line of the panoramic view and you wrote down the bees everywhere.
A ty si tam robil tú panoramatickú líniu a všade si nakreslil tú šelmu.
So in the case of the woman, at one point in the dispensation or the local line, the small one.
Takže v prípade tej ženy, keď sa pozrieme na tú lokálnu epochu, na tú menšiu,
we all know that during the 1260, in that dispensation, so to say,
tak vieme, že počas 1260 v tej epoche
the woman was riding the beast, the papacy was riding the state power.
Žena bola nad tou šelmou a ona riadila tú štátnu moc.
So if I want to put in the panoramic view the W's of the woman,
takže keď chcem to dať do toho panoramatického pohľadu tú ženu,
I need to find something that's more what has a panoramic view of the ideology that the papacy, so to say, has.
Musím nájsť niečo, čo má panoramatický pohľad na to, čo sa deje v tom pápežstve.
That's what helping me at the moment in my mind.
Tak toto je nejako v mojej mysli teraz.
And when I see the political strife that there's going on in the Dutch politics at the moment.
Keď vidím ten politický boj, ktorý sa deje v holandskej politike teraz.
There's this politician with the white hair, the blonde white hair.
Je tam politik blondiavý.
His name is Geert Wilders.
Volá sa Wilders.
And he is calling out to all the people, watch out for the Islamic people.
A všetkým hovorí, dávajte si pozor na tých islamcov.
Because it is an ideology, he's warning.
Lebo to je ideológia, ktorú on nesie.
So what he is understanding very well, I'm not agreeing with him.
Takže to, čo on veľmi dobre rozumie,
that he sees this religion as a threat because it is intent to use power and change the state.
Že on používa tieto hrozby na to, aby svoju moc vlastne zvýšil.
What's the conclusion of what you say?
Aký je záver toho, čo si povedal?
That I agree that the woman is ideology.
Ja súhlasím s tým, že žena je ideológia.
I kind of had the same idea as Mark, but
ja mám v podstate rovnakú myšlienku ako Mark.
As I was looking at the beast state woman ideology, I thought it's so hard.
Keď som sa pozerala na túto ideológiu a šelma a žena, sa mi to zdalo ťažké.
Because we're taking in panoramic view.
Because we're
lebo
berieme si ten panoramatický pohľad.
And if we would get an example, it would be easier to understand.
A keby sme si zobrali nejaký príklad, bolo by jednoduchšie tomu rozumieť.
Give us an example.
For example, the papacy or now Trumpism and MAGA.
Čiže ako príklad by mohlo byť pápežstvo.
So you think that second example you gave is easy?
Takže ty si myslíš, že ten druhý príklad, ktorý si dala, že je jednoduchý?
I thought you said it was easier.
Myslel som, že si povedal, že je to jednoduchšie.
I think it makes it more understandable what an ideology is.
Myslím, že je také
zrozumiteľnejšie,
že čo sú tie ďalšie dve, že nemôže to byť cirkev.
It does if you've got them correct. It does if you have them correct.
Ak to máš správne, bude to cirkev.
Which is hopefully where we want to get to.
A dúfam, že tam sa chceme dostať.
Because people seem to have different definitions.
Zdá sa, že ľudia majú rozdielne definície.
Of what is what and who is who.
Toho, že kto je kto a čo je čo.
In the example.
V tom príklade.
The last one you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So the papacy would be the easy example, I think.
Yeah.
Takže pápežstvo by bol jednoduchý príklad, si myslím.
Which is why when we went to example one, Blessing said, yeah, simple. But we've got to get them both to work. Otherwise we have a problem. And that means we can't work out what our current situation is. The current example. Unless we're sure that the general statement is also true. Curtis.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but I didn't quite get what Blessing's objection is when he discussed the ideology and the state.
So you said you don't understand what his objection is?
Can you clarify if it's that when we say woman equals ideology of something, is he saying the state can't have an ideology of its own?
I'm reticent to put him on the spot.
Because I thought when we...
Tell us what you think. Just give us your position.
Okay. When we say beast equals state, I think we're already inferring that it's ideologically neutral. It just exists as systems, institutions. And then when we say woman equals ideology of something, we're implying that now that thing is going to use those systems or institutions to do something.
You've got to be careful because you started with saying systems, then you went to institutions. Okay, make your point, then I'll ask.
My whole point is, as soon as you separate them, the implication is that the state is neutral until it gets something to guide it. So that's why I said I don't get what point Blessing was making about the state and ideology. I didn't fully understand it. But yeah.
Number one. Beast equals state. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Without understanding even what it means?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you agree with number two? Woman equals ideology.
Of something, yes.
So I have to put the something.
I think it's important.
Okay, so the ideology of something. So, do you agree with number three?
Yes.
Woman controls the beast. Therefore, you'd agree with number four. So you agree with all of those steps.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is, there's an implication if you agree with 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what your point. You're saying there's an implication to all of that. And your implication is that in number one, the state is a tool that is essentially neutral.
Yes.
That
as a separate entity.
Separate to
number two.
Yes, but we know it's separate.
Yeah.
We're not looking about its separation because we know it's separate. We're discussing its nature.
Uh-huh.
And you're saying its nature is it's neutral.
Uh-huh.
What about if I said this? The state has an ideology, but there's another ideology, the woman, that supersedes the state's ideology or the state's purpose. Did everybody understand what I just said? Yeah? I'm going to change terms. I'm not going to use state anymore. I'll use the word you said. First you said systems. So I'm going to change it to institution. And by institution, I mean department. So there's a department. And that department had a purpose, which means it had an ideology. So there's this department which has an ideology, And then there's this other ideology, this woman, that comes on top of that department and says, I don't care the reason for your existence, but you will do it my way. So whether or not the state or the department had an ideology becomes irrelevant. And if I said that the state or the system, especially if you use the word system or institution, it's an object that cannot think. But it has a purpose.
Sure.
And if it has a purpose, it therefore has an ideology.
Okay, sure.
So I'm agreeing with you, everything you've said. I've just explained it slightly differently.
Yeah.
I think I've said the same thing.
I just wanted to say that explaining it that way answered a question that I had about the daily.
Before you do that, you said before, if it's this, this, and this, it means that the something cannot be state. I think you said that.
Yeah.
Explain why it cannot be state. Out of all the generic things that it could be, Mark put all these women on top of the beasts. Why can it not be the ideology of the state, of the beast? I don't want to use strong words, but and so you correct me if I'm wrong. You've said by definition it can't be state. The something can't be state. But before you answer, does everybody understand what I've asked him to do? Put your hand up if you don't know where this is going. Okay. So there are a couple of people who don't even know what I'm talking about. So your answer demands more than just answering my point. Go ahead.
So when we talk about these two things, a beast and a woman, and we define the beast as a state that has a specific function, the point that we've discussed, which I think we agree on, is that the woman comes along to make the state do something contrary to its initial function. So when we say ideology of something on number 2, that something can't be state because the woman is overriding that thing in its job. Does that make sense?
It does to me, but it didn't to others. If it was state, that's something, what would you end up having?
An equal relationship. So it wouldn't be a woman riding a state. It would just be state.
Without calling it without giving it a name, I'll ask everybody. Put your hand up for the two answers. If what he said, just to check if you've understood. Forget the name. how many things would you have? Put your hand up if you would have one thing or two things. Put your hands up if you got one. In in Daniel 2, in the head, how many things do you have? How many materials are there? One. So if I asked you in Daniel 2 head, when you look at it, is it one or two? Everyone put their hand up with one. Revelation 17. Without understanding anything, you put your hand up for one or two. For two. So if I said, how many things are you say there's two? Beast and a woman. Okay. So now the test is if you understood what he said. If the woman is the ideology of the state, okay, now, how many things are there? One or two? So put your hands up if it's one. Put your hands up if it's two. Okay, so most people have understood what he said. So what he's saying is, the logic is if the woman is the belief system of the state, it's just the state. Therefore, it's not something separate. So therefore, you've only got one thing. Okay, so, Blessing, you want to speak now? Okay, so give Blessing the mic. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say that what Curtis said is a summary of my current dilemma.
Okay, so I don't think that's going to be good enough for most people. I'm sorry. Explain why. So before you do that, I think most people didn't understand what your dilemma was. Most people have understood his explanation, which you've said explains your dilemma. So just explain, either you can rephrase what he said or just say whatever you want to say. Bearing in mind that you agreed that you end up with one, which means you understood what he said and you agree with what he said, as do I. But there are some people here who don't, a few people, which to me means they don't understand. So you have a go at explaining what's going on so that we all understand. Thank you.
No, I don't know.
If we don't get this right, we can't move on to the current example.
So my dilemma, I said, is about the something, which is that when you have an ideology exists in something. So if that something is the state, then the word control doesn't work, because it's the ideology of the state. It's doing what it's intended for, what it is. So there's no element of control, it's just being itself, if I can say. So that was my dilemma.
Tell me when you finished.
I'll leave you there.
Okay, so before people, I'm going to do Sylvie first because she's had her hand up for a long time. Sorry, Sylvie. But before we do that, if I said the ideology of anything except state, would that work?
So I'm still... This thing. I still struggle with it because in our current modeling, as we discuss it, ideology is the most important thing, and the something is irrelevant. So that's why I still have a struggle with what we're saying. Because I'm saying if you put church there, for me it works.
Okay.
Because the church's ideology is not the ideology of the state.
If I said people, the masses,
Maybe.
if I said state, definitely not.
I'm saying if you say state, it doesn't work.
If I said the ideology of Americans,
so what I'm trying to suggest, or say, like where my struggle is that that something is the important thing. The Americans are running the show. The Americans are the ones running the show, like they're telling the state what to do. Or the church is the one that's running the show. So the something would be the most important thing for me, as opposed to the ideology. Because the ideology doesn't exist separate from the something.
what can the something not be?
It cannot be the state.
But it could be other things. As
Could
long
be
as
other
it's not
things.
the state.
As long as it's not the
It
state.
couldn't be anything, but it could be some things that are not the state.
Something that's not the state.
Okay. Sylvie. I know we're over time, sorry.
Also eine Ideologie für mich kann jede Partei haben. Jede Partei kann eine Ideologie haben? Oder? Jede Partei hat ihre eigene Ideologie.
Every party has its own ideology.
Und der Staat sollte frei von religiösen Aspekten haben.
And the state should be free from religious aspects.
Aber wenn wir vom König des Nordens ausgehen,
But when we look at the king of the north,
dann hatte es immer eine religiöse Komponente, sei es das Heidentum,
there was always a religion component, for example, the paganism.
deshalb gehört für mich Religion da rein. Ideologie kann irgendetwas sein, das ist für mich zu oberflächlich.
Ideology could be anything. It's too much surface for me. I see religion in there.
Speziell im König des Nordens.
Especially in the king of the north.
Und das sollte losgelöst sein. Und wir haben diese Maga-Bewegung.
And this should be separate. We have the MAGA movement.
Und die Maga-Bewegung ist ja eindeutig Amerika wieder groß machen, aber im religiösen Sinn, mit Abtreibung und diese Dinge.
And the MAGA movement is to make America great again, but it has a religious aspect in there.
Do you agree with what Blessing said?
Also für mich Ideologie ist zu einfach.
For me, ideology is too simple.
Is that no or yes? You agree or disagree?
Also ich stimme mit allen Punkten überein, aber dieses Nummer 2, Ideologie, König des Nordens, das gefällt mir nicht.
I agree with every point except for two, ideology I don't like.
I didn't hear what you said. I heard that bit, I didn't hear the rest of it.
Number 2, the part of ideology I don't like.
You what?
About the ideology, she doesn't like that aspect.
Oh, don't like. So you disagree with what he's taught?
Ich stimme mit ihm überein.
You don't have to explain it, just want to know yes or no if you disagree.
Ja, ich stimme mit ihm überein.
Yes, I agree with Blessing.
You agree with what he said?
Ich habe ein Problem mit dem Wort Ideologie, das ist für mich ein zu großer Überbegriff.
Don't have to explain it, just I want to know if you agree or disagree.
Ja, dann stimme ich nicht überein, oder was?
Yes, then I don't agree with him.
Oder was?
Sorry?
Nein, Moment.
Yes, then I don't agree with him.
Nein, Moment. Blessing sagt, hat ein Problem mit dem Ideologie, oder?
Blessing says that he has a problem
Don't have
with
to explain anything.
ideology.
I just want to know if she agrees or disagrees. That's what I'm asking.
Ja, dann ich stimme wahrscheinlich überein, wenn ich verstanden habe, was Blessing sagt.
If I understood what Blessing said, then I think I agree with him.
Then you think you agree. Do you agree with what Curtis said?
No.
No.
Okay. Did you agree with what Curtis said? So he agreed with what Curtis said, which means they think they're saying the same thing, and you agree with one but disagree with the other.
I would have to listen to both one more time.
Thomas, last one, then we have to stop. Sorry.
Kann es nicht sein, dass der Staat die Frau beeinflusst und die Frau für uns eine Bedrohung ist und durch handelnde Personen die Ideologie ausübt? Also ich sage, dass der Staat die Frau beeinflusst.
Can it be that the state is influencing the woman?
Und dass die Frau durch handelnde Personen die Ideologien, die Gefahren ausführt.
And that
Weil die Frau die Bedrohung ist.
The woman is the danger, and she has people acting on the ideology, and that's dangerous for us.
I didn't hear the last thing.
The woman, because she is using people to enact her ideology, it is dangerous for us.
The verses don't say that. The verses say that the woman controls the state, not that the state controls the woman. Unless we've misread the verses.
Aber kann es nicht. Nein, aber ich denke mir nur, dass der Staat einen gewissen Einfluss auf die Frau hat.
He thinks the
Durch die
state,
Politik oder so.
the state has some shape or form influence on the woman through politics, etc.
But the symbology doesn't teach it that way. When you look at the world, you might think that, but the symbol doesn't teach that. The symbol says the woman is the one that's in control, always.
Okay.
So we have to. I'm sorry. We have to stop. No, we have to stop. Yeah. Please feel to talk about it over lunch, and we'll pick it up in our next class after we've had a time to think about it. Let's pray. Holy God, we thank you that we can find grace and mercy in your word, in the wisdom and strength that you give to us. Help us to be able to grapple with these ideas. May each of us be thankful for the privilege of being here. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.